Have you ever wondered why some people over 90 seem energetic and sharp, while others struggle with health problems much earlier? Leading researchers have spent years studying over 9,200 centenarians to understand what makes the difference, and what they found changes everything. Meet Arthur, an 87-year-old former mechanic who transformed his health trajectory at age 70 by changing just his morning routine, and what happened next amazed his doctors. These discoveries could add healthy years to your life, starting tomorrow morning. You're here for proven ways to extend your healthy lifespan, and that's exactly what you're going to get. But I'm also sharing the specific timing and sequence that makes these habits most effective for older adults. And wait until you hear the fourth habit. It takes just 30 seconds, but could be the most powerful longevity practice you'll ever learn. The reality is that 82% of people over 70 accept declining health as inevitable, but you have the power to change that. Please watch every minute of this video because these insights could revolutionize how you age and how you feel every day. If you know someone over 70, this could be exactly the information they've been looking for. Habit number 1, immediate morning hydration, the 16-ounce lifesaver. This next one will surprise many who think coffee or tea first thing in the morning is harmless. Meet Sandra, a 78-year-old retired nurse who had always started her mornings with coffee, believing that caffeine was the best way to feel alert and energized. Sandra didn't realize that her body had been dehydrating for 6 to 8 hours during sleep, and that jumping straight to caffeine was actually putting stress on her kidneys and cardiovascular system. When her doctor mentioned that her kidney function was declining, Sandra initially thought it was just normal aging, until she learned about the critical importance of morning rehydration. Here's what Sandra discovered. Overnight dehydration causes blood to thicken and forces your heart to work much harder, while immediate morning hydration can improve kidney function and reduce cardiovascular stress within weeks. Studies conducted at Harvard Medical School found that seniors who drink 16 ounces of water immediately upon waking show improved kidney function, better blood pressure regulation, and enhanced cognitive performance compared to those who start their day with other beverages. Your body loses significant water during sleep through breathing and sweating, and this dehydration can accelerate aging processes if not addressed immediately upon waking. How can you tell if morning dehydration might be affecting your health and energy levels? Pay attention to how you feel when you first wake up and how your body responds to your current morning routine. You might notice that you feel groggy or sluggish for the first hour after waking, or that you experience morning headaches or dizziness when you first stand up. Perhaps you've observed that your energy doesn't stabilize until later in the morning, or you feel like you need multiple cups of coffee to feel alert and focused. The wonderful news is that starting your day with proper hydration can begin improving your cardiovascular and kidney health within just a few days of consistent practice. Place a full glass of room temperature water on your nightstand before bed each night, and make drinking it the very first thing you do when you open your eyes, before getting out of bed or consuming anything else. Avoid ice-cold water in the morning as it can shock your system, and resist the urge to reach for coffee or tea until after you've rehydrated your body. The beautiful part is that most people notice improved energy, clearer thinking, and better overall well-being within a week of making this simple change. If you've ever felt like your mornings start slowly and take time to build momentum, proper hydration might be the missing foundation your body needs. But this hydration foundation is nothing compared to what comes next. Habit number 2, natural light exposure. Within 30 minutes, your circadian reset button. This one might surprise you because it affects every system in your body, not just your sleep. Let me tell you about Kenneth, 82 years old, and a former teacher who had been struggling with poor sleep, afternoon fatigue, and general feelings of being off schedule for several years. Kenneth spent most of his mornings indoors, reading the newspaper and having breakfast, not realizing that his body was missing a crucial biological signal that regulates everything from hormone production to cognitive function. His doctor mentioned that his circadian rhythm might be disrupted, But Kenneth didn't understand how something as simple as light exposure could affect his overall health. The truth is, natural morning light exposure within 30 minutes of waking triggers a cascade of biological processes that regulate your sleep-wake cycle, hormone production, and even your body's ability to repair itself. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that seniors who get natural light exposure early in the morning produce 73% more melatonin at night, have better regulated cortisol levels throughout the day, and show improved cognitive function compared to those who remain indoors. Morning light exposure helps synchronize your internal clock, which becomes increasingly important as you age because your circadian rhythm naturally becomes less precise over time. What are the warning signs that disrupted circadian rhythms might be affecting your overall health and well-being? Be aware of patterns in your sleep, energy, and mood that suggest your body's internal clock is out of sync. You might notice that you have trouble falling asleep at a reasonable time, or that you wake up multiple times during the night. Or perhaps you experience significant afternoon energy crashes that leave you feeling tired and unfocused. You could also observe that your mood feels less stable throughout the day, or that you don't feel hungry at regular meal times. Here's the empowering truth. You can reset your circadian rhythm and improve multiple aspects of your health by simply spending 10 to 15 minutes outside within 30 minutes of waking up each day. Step outside onto your porch, sit by an open window, or take a brief walk around your yard to expose your eyes to natural light, even on cloudy days when outdoor light is still much brighter than indoor lighting. If mobility is limited, sitting near a large window with the curtains open can provide some benefit, though direct outdoor exposure is most effective. Make this exposure part of your morning routine by combining it with your morning water or morning breathing exercises. The amazing outcome is that many seniors notice better nighttime sleep, more stable daytime energy, and improved mood within just a week or two of consistent morning light exposure. Anyone who has experienced the frustration of feeling tired during the day but wide awake at bedtime understands how valuable proper circadian rhythm regulation can be. However, what I'm about to share is even more important for long-term joint and mobility health. Habit number 3, gentle movement before breakfast, the joint preservation secret. Here's something that will genuinely surprise you about timing your movement for maximum longevity benefits. Consider the experience of Helen, a 75-year-old woman who had been experiencing increasing joint stiffness and was concerned about her long-term mobility. Helen typically had breakfast first thing in the morning and then did her exercises later in the day, thinking that eating would give her energy for movement. However, she learned that the timing of movement in relation to eating can significantly impact how effectively your body maintains and repairs joint tissue as you age. What Helen learned: gentle movement before eating activates cellular repair processes called autophagy that are crucial for joint health and can significantly slow age-related joint deterioration. Scientists at Mayo Clinic discovered that seniors who engage in gentle movement before their first meal of the day activate autophagy, essentially cellular housekeeping that clears out damaged proteins and cellular debris from joint tissues. This process is most active when you haven't eaten recently, making the pre-breakfast period ideal for movement that supports long-term joint health and flexibility. How do you know if your current movement timing might be missing opportunities for joint preservation and longevity? Pay attention to how your joints feel throughout the day and how they respond to different timing of movement and meals. You might notice that your joints feel particularly stiff in the morning and take time to warm up, or that you experience more joint discomfort later in the day after periods of inactivity. Perhaps you've observed that your flexibility and range of motion seem to be gradually declining over time, or that certain movements that were once easy now feel more challenging. The encouraging reality is that simple morning movement before eating can activate powerful joint preservation mechanisms that work throughout the day. Spend 5 to 10 minutes doing gentle movements, like arm circles, ankle rotations, gentle neck stretches, or easy walking immediately after drinking your morning water, but before eating anything. Focus on movements that feel good and gradually work through your body's natural range of motion rather than forcing or straining. The key is consistency rather than intensity. These gentle movements signal your body to prioritize cellular repair and maintenance. The wonderful result is that many people notice improved morning flexibility, reduced joint stiffness, and better overall mobility within a few weeks of making this timing adjustment. Those of us who have experienced morning stiffness that gradually improves throughout the day understand the value of gentle movement for joint health. I'm curious, which of these morning habits have you tried before? Let me know in the comments, and if these strategies are making sense to you, please subscribe so you don't miss more tips that can support your well-being as you age. But wait until you discover this next habit that takes just 30 seconds. Habit number 4, the 30-second breathing reset, your daily stress vaccine. This particular habit is especially powerful because it takes almost no time but affects every system in your body. Think about the journey of Robert, an 84-year-old retired engineer who had been dealing with high blood pressure, general anxiety, and what he described as feeling wound up most of the time. Robert had tried various medications and lifestyle changes, but his doctor suggested that his stress response might be stuck in an overactive state that was affecting his overall health. When Robert learned about a simple breathing technique that could reset his nervous system each morning, he was skeptical that something so brief could make a real difference. Here's what Robert realized. A specific 30-second breathing pattern practiced each morning can activate your parasympathetic nervous system and significantly reduce stress hormones throughout the entire day. Evidence from longevity researchers shows that centenarians in blue zone regions often practice specific breathing patterns that reduce cellular stress and inflammation. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 7, exhaling for 8, activates the vagus nerve and signals your body to shift from stress mode to repair mode, which becomes increasingly important as you age. What should you watch for regarding chronic stress activation that might be accelerating your aging process? Be aware of physical and mental tension patterns that suggest your stress response is overactive. You might notice that you feel tense or on edge, even during relaxing activities, or that you have trouble fully relaxing even when there's nothing immediate to worry about. Perhaps you've observed that your heart rate feels elevated more often than it used to, or you experience physical symptoms like tight shoulders, shallow breathing, or digestive issues that could be stress-related. The transformative news is that this simple breathing practice can begin shifting your nervous system toward longevity-promoting patterns within minutes of starting. After drinking your morning water and getting light exposure, practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 counts, then exhale completely through your mouth for 8 counts, making a gentle whooshing sound. Repeat this cycle 3 to 4 times, which takes about 30 seconds total. Practice this at the same time each morning to create a consistent signal to your nervous system that it's safe to focus on repair rather than stress response. The amazing thing is that many people notice improved stress resilience, better blood pressure, and more stable mood throughout the day after just a few days of consistent practice. People who have felt like they're always slightly on edge understand how valuable it is to have a simple tool for nervous system regulation. Yet this next habit might be the most important for your overall health. Habit number 5, protein and fiber-rich breakfast, the metabolic foundation. You might not expect this, but what you eat first thing in the morning sets your metabolic patterns for the entire day. Picture this: Sharon and Bobby, both 79 years old, following different breakfast patterns. Sharon starts her day with toast and coffee, while Bobby eats eggs with vegetables and berries. After 6 months, Sharon is experiencing blood sugar fluctuations, increased inflammation markers, and afternoon energy crashes, while Bobby maintains stable energy, better blood sugar control, and improved overall health markers. The difference isn't just what they're eating, but how their first meal is programming their metabolism for the rest of the day. The key insight: a breakfast containing adequate protein and fiber creates metabolic conditions that support cellular repair and longevity, while high-carbohydrate breakfasts trigger inflammatory processes that accelerate aging. Researchers at the Longevity Nutrition Institute found that seniors who consume at least 25 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber at breakfast show significantly lower inflammatory markers and better insulin sensitivity compared to those who eat typical American breakfast foods. The timing of this nutrient combination is crucial because it sets hormonal and metabolic patterns that influence everything from cognitive function to immune response throughout the day. How can you tell if your current breakfast choices might be working against your longevity goals? Notice how you feel in the hours after breakfast and whether your energy remains stable throughout the morning. You might observe that you experience energy crashes or cravings a few hours after eating, or that you feel hungry again very quickly after breakfast. Perhaps you've noticed that your mood or cognitive function fluctuates significantly during the morning, or that you rely on multiple cups of coffee to maintain energy and focus. What's hopeful is that changing your breakfast composition can begin improving your metabolic health and energy stability within just a few days. Combine a high-quality protein source like eggs, Greek yogurt, or plant-based protein with fiber-rich foods such as berries, vegetables, or chia seeds, plus a source of healthy fats like avocado or nuts. Avoid refined carbohydrates like toast, pastries, or sweetened cereals that trigger blood sugar spikes and inflammatory responses. Focus on foods that provide sustained energy and support your body's repair processes rather than creating metabolic stress. The satisfying result is that many seniors notice more stable energy, reduced cravings, and better overall well-being when they align their breakfast choices with their body's longevity needs. If you've ever experienced mid-morning energy crashes or constant hunger, you understand how important metabolic stability can be for daily quality of life. But there's another habit that's equally important for emotional and social well-being. Habit number 6, morning social connection, the relationship longevity factor. This one is especially important because it addresses a risk factor that's as dangerous as smoking for senior health. Let me share the story of Roger, an 86-year-old widower who had been living alone and gradually becoming more isolated from friends and family. Roger didn't realize that his lack of regular social interaction was affecting his physical health, not just his emotional well-being. When his doctor mentioned that social isolation could be contributing to his declining immune function and increasing his risk of cognitive decline, Roger began to understand that human connection wasn't just nice to have, it was essential for healthy aging. What Roger discovered: meaningful social connection, especially in the morning, activates biological processes that support immune function, cardiovascular health, and cognitive preservation. Clinical studies show that seniors who engage in meaningful social contact before 10 a.m. have significantly lower inflammation markers, better immune function, and reduced risk of cognitive decline compared to those who remain socially isolated. Morning social interaction appears to set neurotransmitter patterns that benefit multiple body systems throughout the day, making the timing of social connection almost as important as the connection itself. How can you tell if social isolation might be affecting your physical health as well as your emotional well-being? Pay attention to patterns in your energy, mood, and physical health that might correlate with your level of social interaction. You might notice that you feel less motivated or energetic on days when you don't interact with others, or that you seem to get sick more frequently or take longer to recover from illness. Perhaps you've observed that your memory and thinking feel sharper after engaging with friends or family, or that you feel more positive and optimistic when you have regular social contact. The encouraging reality is that even brief morning social connections can provide significant health benefits when practiced consistently. Make a short phone call to a friend or family member. Engage in a meaningful conversation if you live with others, or create opportunities for regular social interaction, such as morning walks with neighbors or brief visits to local businesses where you can have friendly exchanges. The key is making human connection a non-negotiable part of your morning routine, just like any other health practice. Even a few minutes of genuine interaction can activate the biological benefits that support healthy aging. The beautiful outcome is that prioritizing morning social connection often leads to stronger relationships, better mood, and improved physical health markers within a relatively short time. This recognition that social connection is a biological necessity, not just a luxury, often transforms how seniors approach their daily routines. Let me know you're still with me by commenting "Connected" below if this insight about social connection and health makes sense to you. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical guidance that makes senior living easier. But this final habit might be the most transformative of all. Habit number 7, directed gratitude practice, the brain-changing 2-minute ritual. Now, for the most important habit, this one is particularly powerful because it literally rewires your brain for longevity and resilience. Consider the transformation of Melissa, an 81-year-old grandmother who had been struggling with high blood pressure, chronic worry, and what she described as a generally negative outlook that seemed to be getting worse with age. Melissa's doctor suggested that her stress response and negative thinking patterns might be contributing to her physical health problems, but she didn't understand how changing her thoughts could affect her blood pressure and overall well-being. When Melissa learned about specific gratitude practices that could measurably change brain function and stress responses, she decided to try this approach. Here's the profound truth. Directed gratitude practice, especially when focused on your body and health, creates measurable changes in brain structure and reduces stress hormones that accelerate aging. Research from Yale University demonstrates that seniors who practice specific morning gratitude techniques show increased activity in brain regions associated with emotional regulation and decision-making, plus significantly reduced cortisol levels throughout the day. The key is practicing gratitude in a directed way that focuses on your body and health rather than general circumstances, which appears to activate the vagus nerve and promote healing responses. How can you recognize if negative thinking patterns or chronic stress might be accelerating your aging process? Reflect on your general mental state and how you typically think about your body and health. You might notice that you focus more on what's wrong with your body than what's working well, or that you automatically expect the worst outcomes regarding your health and aging. Perhaps you've observed that you feel anxious or stressed about your health even when you're doing relatively well, or that negative thoughts about aging and health occupy significant mental space throughout your day. The life-changing news is that a simple 2-minute gratitude practice can begin shifting both your brain function and your stress response within days of consistent practice. After completing your breathing exercise, place your hand over your heart and name 3 specific parts of your body you're grateful for and why. For example, I'm grateful for my eyes that let me see my family's faces, for my legs that still carry me where I need to go, and for my heart that beats faithfully every day. The specificity and focus on your body, rather than external circumstances, appears to be crucial for activating the biological benefits. Practice this at the same time each morning to create consistent, positive neural pathways. The wonderful result is that many seniors notice improved mood, better stress resilience, and even measurable improvements in blood pressure and other health markers when they practice directed gratitude consistently. This shift from focusing on what's wrong to appreciating what's working often becomes the foundation for a more positive and healthy aging experience. Final thoughts. Looking back, these 7 morning habits reveal that how you start your day literally programs your body for healthy aging or accelerated decline. These practices aren't just about feeling better in the moment. They're about activating biological processes that support longevity, cognitive health, and physical vitality throughout your later years. The good news is that you don't need to implement all 7 habits at once to see benefits. Even starting with 2 to 3 of these practices can create meaningful changes in your health trajectory. You're not too old to change your patterns, and you don't need expensive equipment or dramatic lifestyle overhauls to activate longevity pathways in your body. If you've recognized areas where your morning routine could better support healthy aging, know that small, consistent changes often create the most lasting and significant improvements in how you feel and function. Tomorrow morning, choose 1 or 2 habits from this list and begin incorporating them into your routine as the foundation for healthier aging. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share which of these habits you're most excited to try, or tell us about morning routines that have made a positive difference in your own life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you join us again in the next video.